We're back. We're still doing Transformers and stuff. He's got a shield now.
Yay.
Yeah, which is actually really annoying because you have to break a shield, as just showed you there. You have to transform into a car, get some speed up, come around and do a big like flying kick at it, basically.
How does that destroy the shield?
It was more power than the shield could take.
Why are we playing as Bumblebee when Optimus is right there?
Why are we playing as 80s characters when we could be playing as Hot Rod? That's the real question.
Is Hot Rod even in this game?
No, he's not, as far as I know, which is what sucks. Like, out of all the characters, like we get like Wheeljack and shit, we don't get fucking Hot Rod. I don't understand that. Is it like, can someone tell me if like, is there someone who's like obviously more of a Transformers fan than I am watching this? Is like he not considered like a true Gen 1 character because he kind of showed up in the movie and later on after that? Maybe he's like Gen 2 or some shit, I don't know. That could be the reason. Because I don't think he was in the original series until after the movie came out.
That might be the reason, but... I guess maybe for the sequel.
I don't know. Because yeah, like, a tiny little like VW car can just like fuck up Megatron basically, according to this. And it sucks because like every character has a unique move that you can do, and his is just a slide.
Intriguing.
Yeah. So one of the things that I was here is like I'm starting to get the hang of like the dodge mechanic here, but what I found very annoying about it, which it took me a lot longer to learn, so you won't see it in this episode because I was still fucking up a lot, is that when you like basically the cue for dodging in this game is that they'll make this little it's like a shing kind of sound, which means you have to like they're about to do an attack which has to be dodged, which is fine. But if you press dodge when they make the sound, you're actually pressing it too early. You have to press it. You have to wait till you hear the sound, then wait an extra half second after that, which I found really off-putting to start with.
Yeah, I can definitely understand that. Alright.
I kept pressing the button too early, basically, and I was like getting super frustrated during some boss fights.
Alright, Optimus, you do all the work for me.
That's right. I'll just be over here, Optimus. You just take care of that. Slow motion. Phallic imagery. That thick shaft jutting out of the ground that causes women to shudder.
Throbbing so incredibly hard.
The thick and hard like steel. That's actually a really interesting point because like later on in the game, they're talking about like the culture and history of the Autobots and like how rich and varied it is. I'm like, you guys are robots. You're gonna tell me you have like robot painters and poets?
Yeah, I don't know why robots would do that.
I can't imagine why a robot would do that. So yeah, so this is a special kind of gate that you have to do a charge attack for.
Oh, are we a bitchin'?
Huzzah!
We a bitchin' Camaro?
Also, bitchin' Ferrari kind of alike, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's they don't have the like licenses for any of the cars that they're supposed to be built off. So like Bumblebee kind of looks like a VW. This guy I think this guy's Wheeljack. He kind of looks like a Ferrari sort of thing. So yeah, they're like the Chinese knockoffs basically.
Okay. Even though Transformers were already the American knockoffs of a Japanese product, so...
Yeah, don't think too hard about it. It's robots in disguise. Let's not go too deep. More generic bad guys!
You don't even have a face.
You don't even have a name. You're just called Ground Soldier. How do you feel?
What chance do you have?
That's right. You're Ground Soldier, I'm Wheeljack. Do the math. Although I get swords now too, because swords work on robots.
What would a robot use with swords? He's already metal.
He's already metal, you're wasting your time. And here's the ultimate attack that he has, which is actually pretty good. You can just turn around and fire rockets and shit.
Well, rockets I would see being very useful in a game like this.
As opposed to twin swords.
Yeah.
Yeah, this game has a whole weaponry upgrade system where I don't show these in the videos. I cut those sections out, but you can basically go into the menu and customize your loadout for your character, what weapons you want them to have, what type of guns, what kind of melee weapons, that kind of thing. So, although I did stick with the twin swords because even though they are like nonsensical, they're actually pretty cool in terms of like the animations and whatnot. Yeah, so there is like some variance there as well, which you don't actually get to see.
Mm. What face? You're a robot.
He said paint, not face.
Oh, okay. I thought he said face. I'm like, you're a robot. What do you care?
Does a robot need to look pretty? Is that something we can look into?
Well, I guess there's the Uncanny Valley.
Well, no, there was like the RC robot. She was in the movie as well. She was like the first female robot, if there is such a thing as a female robot. Yeah, we were asking some deep questions in this, aren't we?
Does Android 18 count in Dragon Ball?
I think they covered that in the abridged series where it's like, we call them androids, and Cell goes, well, good for you, you're wrong!
Yeah, pretty much.
She's clearly a cyborg.
Yep.
Have you seen episode 50 of that yet? Sorry, they're up to 51 now, aren't they?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Still love that series.
Yep. Can't wait till they get to Boo, because that's just pure bullshit.
You got a problem with the Boo Saga?
So much padding!
That's the same for any anime, though.
Well, there's a reason they call the trope drag on ballsy.
Well, I mean, Dragon, like the whole like concept of Dragon Ball Z is that it like drags out forever. I mean, that was like the thing is that you either love it, you either love fights that take several episodes to finish, or you hate them. There's really no middle ground on that.
True, but that was really more the anime because the fights don't last nearly as long in the manga, unless it's like the big bad of the arc, like Frieza.
Okay, I've never actually read the manga, I have to confess.
Yeah, the general fights between lesser characters go over pretty quickly.
Alright, fair enough. As opposed to these fights, which are just, like, pretty damn amazing, am I right?
Can we fight a named character now?
We fought Devastator, what else do you want?
Is there anyone bigger?
Is there like... Do all the robots join together to make Devastator, and then Devastator joins together with a bunch of other robots to make an even bigger one?
Yeah, I watched Gurren Lagann, and they'll never get as big as that.
I know there was Megaplex in the original series. I remember him. He was an actual city that turned into a fucking robot.
Gurren Lagann is the size of galaxies.
I have to say I've not seen Gurren Lagann.
It is insane.
Oh, sorry, it was Metroplex, not Megaplex. But I'm only saying that because there will be someone in the comments who points that out.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know. I played. Did you ever play the like full Cybertron games and whatnot?
No, I'm not a big enough Transformers fan to really be interested in those.
Okay, and that surprised me. Like I mentioned this when I first broached the idea of playing this game with you. I was kind of surprised that you weren't a Transformers fan. Is that just because you never really saw them when you were growing up?
Yeah, pretty much. The whole Transformers hype had kind of died down at that point. They were still around, but they weren't the thing for kids at the time, so...
Yeah. It was Ninja Turtles were the thing for kids.
Ninja Turtles and Power Rangers, yeah. And the DC animated universe was just starting then, so...
Oh, okay. Yeah, I fucking loved that shit when it was out.
Yeah. I
never really liked Power Rangers that much because I was kind of like... I think I was like probably 12 or 13 when Power Rangers came out, so I was like no, I still watched them, but I wouldn't tell you my friends that I watched them.
It's Super Sentai, so it's kind of inherently goofy and meant for younger kids.
It is, and we had this discussion yesterday about who was the best Ranger, and Nayrman was completely wrong by saying the Red Ranger, when it's in fact the Green Ranger who was the best.
Red Ranger's the leader.
He goes faster, he's red.
3 times faster, even. And did you know that the when the Green Ranger became the White Ranger, that's from 2 completely separate series, which is why you never see the White Ranger and the other Rangers on screen at the same time.
I do know that they brought him back as the White Ranger because basically all like the
footage of the Green Ranger ran out.
All the kids lost their shit that the Green Ranger was gone, and basically because they lost their shit with their parents, and the parents turned around and said, "Bring the Green Ranger back. We're sick of hearing this."
I think they got rid of the Green Ranger because they ran out of footage from the Green Ranger.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
Because in the original series, the original Tokusatsu, the Green Ranger dies. So.
Hang on, we gotta stop because Megatron is actually hacking the Matrix as we speak.
How?
I didn't understand any of that. It's like he just stands there and hacks the Matrix.
He just looked at it angrily.
I know he's like my chariot of weight, and he rides off in a dump truck. Not really like a fitting exit for a supervillain.
Don't let him escape. Already on it.
This is the first driving section anyway, but yeah, I mean, there's so many like inconsistencies between the American version and the Japanese version. I mean, as I'm sure a lot of people are aware of, in the Japanese version, the Yellow Ranger was a guy, not a Asian woman, which is already racist enough as it is.
Yeah, the entire cast choices for the colors were kind of racist.
They were. The Black Ranger was black, the Yellow Ranger was yellow, the white girl was pink.
Yeah, and I think one of the Red Rangers, I forget which one, was part Native American.
Okay, there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
I've seen that like that Forever Red episode. That's a lot of fucking Red Rangers.
Yeah. And then they did a every Power Rangers crossover in Japan.
Did they? I have not seen that one.
It's every tokusatsu they could basically get their hands on.
And how many is that roughly?
Like 30 or so teams.
30 or so teams. So we're talking like 150-ish kind
People,
of
yeah.
people at once. Wow, that is kind of nuts. So the idea is that you got to drive through like these circles on the track to be able to catch up with Megatron and punch him in the butt, basically.
Oh, so we're fisting them.
Pretty much. I'm firing my load at him right now. Does that make it better? The controls from like being able to switch between car and robot on the fly are pretty good. You just basically have to hold down R1 and you'll switch between forms. So that's good at least. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with this game. It's a platinum game, and so like they do action very well. It just feels. It feels like Korra. It feels like Metal Gear Rising in the sense that those were both games that were very rushed. It's not like, for example, Bayonetta, which felt like a much more fleshed out game that had a lot more time to actually build up.
Well, from what I've been hearing about these projects is that basically Platinum's being overworked because they're the hot developer at the time, so they're kind of getting all these projects at once.
Okay, is that really the case? I mean, I know
that's what I think is what's going on.
Okay, so that's more of a theory than anything else. Yeah. So now we get to wail on Megatron again.
Couldn't we just do this?
With a slightly different Transformer. Well, yeah, but now there's a whole different mechanic, because now he's got like this whole, like, fucking jet turbine bullshit going on.
And also, why are we in a wrestling ring?
Because it's WrestleMania!
Just basically
will be Russell.
Expecting Optimus Prime to jump off one of the ropes with the people's elbow.
It was me, Austin! It was me all along! By God, Jimmy, what a shot!
So basically the pattern is drive around, ram into him, and then combo.
Pretty much. It's wail on him until he knocks you back and then busts out his shield and then do it all over again.
Wow, that's pretty simple.
Well, when you boil it down, I mean, it's a really, like, Platinum boss fights aren't really very hard. They're all just about finding the pattern. It doesn't matter which boss it is. They're all pretty similar.
True, but...
And if you look at, like, Jetstream Sam, for example, from Metal Gear Rising, I mean, that was probably the most complicated boss fight they did. He was, like, very heavily pattern-based. The only difference with him was that he had, like, he had different phases, whereas I haven't seen any boss in this game. Actually, no, there is a Devastator fight coming up, which has a second phase.
Well, at least in Metal Gear Solid and Bayonetta, they have a few more patterns than just the one.
Yeah, well, yeah, pretty much. This is, which again kind of leads back into what I was saying about this being very. It feels like it was rushed again, and we know the core game was rushed. We know Metal Gear Rising was rushed, and this feels the same. It feels like they were forced to do this in like probably a year or maybe a little bit less.
Yeah, you can definitely tell that with kind of how basic it is.
But that's still, I mean, I'm sure if people are like, are more passionate fanboys about this sort of stuff than I am, then they're probably getting a lot more out of it than the two of us are.
How do I shut down the security system?
Ram into it.
Your security system is in place. Your
Shut up, Siri. No one cares.
Transform and roll out.
Catchphrase.
All right, guys. That's gonna wrap up for this episode. We'll see you very soon.